What's up everyone? Today I'm going to teach you guys how to have infinite mana without having to run Starlight aspect. This works on any chain lightning build. Primarily it works on my builds personally, so I will use my builds as a frame of reference. If you haven't seen my builds yet, check it out in the description below. The NMK Voxandarial Sorcerer or the Avatar Sorc, which I just made a few days ago, which is an absolute monster of a build. Yes, it is tricky to make, but when you have it, it is satisfying and it is probably my strongest creation yet. Alright, so how do you get infinite mana without Starlight? Starlight is the easiest way to solve the mana issue. However, it is not the best way to do it because you are losing out on a lot of damage and potential for making your sorcerer stronger. Now, the reason why is you have to put it on one of these slots. The rings are really important, and your amulet is a 1.5 times multiplier of whatever aspect you put into it. And Stormswell is just so powerful that it has to be on your amulet. Starlight, not a good thing. Alright, so for this build and all the builds that I use, there is no Starlight. I don't like it, I don't want to see it, I don't put it. Okay, so how do you get infinite mana? By the way guys, I do a lot of talking in this video and all my videos. A lot of people follow my builds, but they still comment below my vids. They're like, this is such a good build, it's so strong, it's bananas. However, I'm having mana issues. Well, I'm not blaming them because not everyone can follow a build one for one, and not everyone has the patience to listen to the whole video. But I highly encourage you guys to listen to what I'm saying. Do not skip on stuff because I've spent hours on hours, and if you want to see, 389 hours on this sorcerer. Chain lightning, that is a lot of hours. I play too much. That might be a problem, but I have spent the time, and I think you should be able to realize that I kind of know what I'm saying because I've been playing it for so long. So just listen, watch. It's worth it, okay? Infinite mana time. Let's go. First up, the gear. Both my builds run Andariels because I like lucky hit chance, which is a really important stat to how you gain infinite mana without Starlight. Next thing, you want Fist of Fate. You want to triple crit your GA on lucky hit chance for that major lucky hit chance gain. Next, the bane of your existence of mana issue. It is the reason why you are burning so much mana, but this is the item that makes chain lightning really strong, especially for Andariels, because those electric hula hoops have an insane lucky hit rate. It is different from your chain lightning bolt, I believe, because once those hula hoops start going, the poison starts popping. Like pop, 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 right? Anyway, yes, your aspect on this drains 66 mana per chain lightning bolt, and that is insane because any good chain lightning build will probably throw out 10 to 15 bolts at a time. Having 15 electric hula hoops is crazy. I personally can't achieve that because I need more max resource, but this build can do about 12, and that burns a lot of mana. You gotta feed that pig in order to keep trucking along. So, infinite mana is the solution. Double crit, resource generation, and maximum. Really important to do this. You could triple crit it so that you get more electric hula hoops and greater resource generation. However, I feel like having one roll of the crit going to chance of chain lightning projectiles to cast twice is a little bit better, especially for my Avatar Sorc build. And for my NMK build, I think damage reduction is better than the triple crit on resource gen. However, if you can try to triple crit it, do it because you'll have more electric hula hoops and you'll have less mana issues. You might not have to run an additional stat that I run on both my builds to be able to sustain the mana. Yeah, I think triple critting this would solve all the issues and you won't need this extra stat. And the extra stat, so that we get it out of the way, is this one right here. Lucky hit chance, up to 5% chance to restore primary resource. Without this, your build might just stop on its tracks. Meaning to say, you'll have all the attack speed, you'll have so many lightning bolts, you can still regen some of it, but eventually you might have to stop. Basically, you run out of mana, you have that awkward pause, and then your resource starts gaining again, and then you throw another bolt. The idea is to never have to stop so that it feels fluid, it feels consistent, it basically just feels good, especially for bossing, right? So this stat is a mandatory stat on at least one item. You don't need this on several items, you don't need it on two weapons, you only need it on one. You can put it either on an amulet temper, it can be on the focus, which I prefer. Okay, this for Avatar Sword. And yeah, also NMK needs this. On NMK, you put it on the amulet temper. Anyway, when you're doing the Avatar Sword build, link below, you need mana boots to compensate because you don't have the added benefit of Vox Omnium. So this is how you're gonna get that mana sustain, and it will multiply with your resource gen and all that other stuff, which we'll get into in the skill tree. Okay, but for now, if you're gonna do Vox Omnium, all you gotta do is triple crit core attack speed, and this thing will just start spamming chain lightning so fast. And the basic skill that you'll be proccing a lot is Frostbolt, and that's because Ice Blades and Ice Armor will always be cooldown really quickly, and you'll be spamming this, resulting into double Frostbolts. And when you do Frostbolts, you gain mana lucky hit chance by you gain 15 mana if you lucky hit with your ice skills, which are your Ice Blaze and your Frostbolts. It is a passive on the skill tree, which we'll explain on the skill tree later on, but that is how you will be sustaining your mana per second rather than having to use mana boots. Okay, so that's for these items. Next up, the biggest or the second biggest most important mana regen source item is your amulet. You must have a GA on Conjuration Mastery and triple crit that thing down, because Conjuration Mastery is just such an OP passive. We'll see that on the skill tree. We'll get there. Next up, Starless Skies. Yes, the initial cost of primary resource is reduced. However, it does not really help too much. It only helps with the initial cast of Chain Lightning and Ice Blades, but any help is good. What you're really after here is the constant 50 times multiplier, right? The 50% multiplier that you want is what you're getting Starless Skies for. Okay, that's why you're using it. All right, like I mentioned already in the focus, you must have that lucky hit, up to 5% chance to restore 2.3% primary resource. I don't have to go into Doombringer because it does not do anything for our mana regen. You use this for just check out the Avatar Sword build. Really, really good, really fun. All right, skill tree. Here is where things get, according to my friend, a little juicy. All right. All right, if you're running NMK Vox and Dariel, you're gonna get Frostbolts, and then Enhanced Frostbolts, and then Glinting Frostbolt for that 4 mana when you hit chilled or frozen enemies, which they will definitely be if you are running Vox and Dariel. It is really strong for mobbing and clearing. However, when you're bossing, it doesn't really take effect. But don't feel bad, because your Frostbolts are still doing something for your mana during bossing. Okay, we'll get to that as we go down the list. Your first upgrade that you're gonna get that influences your mana regen is your Ice Armor. Again, you can spam this because you'll be spending so much mana per second. This will always be up by 4 seconds. Yeah, it will be there in 4 seconds. Pop it again. It gives you 30% mana regeneration. However, that 30% is actually multiplied by our pants. And yeah, so it's more like 55% or something, or 50%. All right, next up, the biggest passive stat that is really important for infinite mana is Conjuration Mastery. Big surprise there, it is the most OP passive in Season 5 for Sorcerer. You gain 10% multiplier, 10% additive movement, and 20% multiplier on mana regeneration per conjuration. As you can see here, I am upgrading all my conjurations. These are 3 upgrades. You gotta be burning. This one has to be for cooldowns. It affects everything: your ice blades, flame armor, flame shield, ice armor, and teleport, as well as your ultimate. Really important to have this. Next up, you're gonna get lightning spear, but you do not put this on the bar. And get enhanced lightning spear, so whenever it casts lightning spear, it doubles. And you get lightning spears from your ultimate, which will always be up because you have Orange Herald on a lucky hit build. You are permanently on god mode on my builds, so added attack speed plus chance to cast lightning spears, and it doubles, right? Because we got the upgrade right here, enhanced lightning spear. So this actually can reach up to, my average is about 16 conjurations. That's like a good number for luckiness. But sometimes I can reach 20. And for the sake of easy math, we'll just multiply it by 20, alright? So 20 times 10, that is 200% increased damage. That is huge. You get maximum movement speed if you get 20. And you get 400% multiplier on mana regeneration if you have 20 conjurations out. That is nuts. On lightning spear builds, they get up to 50, which is why this stat is broken on lightning spear. Honestly, lightning spear needs a balance. Do it. I don't want to play that boring ass build. I want to make the builds of sorcerer that are more fun equal to that overpowered lightning spear build, which is super boring to play. God, I hate that build. Anyway, yeah, balance that thing, man. Conjuration Mastery is how you get your permanent infinite mana. So this is also affected by your pants, by the way. The 79.4% increase of generation is affected by this, making this way more than 400%. It can probably it's more like 700 something percent. It's nuts. All right, next, this is how you have infinite mana on both my builds. This stat right here, Frigid Breeze, Lucky Hit, cold damage against vulnerable enemies, has a 20% chance to generate 15 mana. On the NMK Vox and Dariel build, you'll be spamming 4 chain lightnings per second because it is maximum attack speed, which will also equal to 8 frostbolts. And frostbolts have over 100% lucky hit, which means every frostbolt will has a chance to proc, or like every one of 5 frostbolts will proc this one. And the chance is 20%. 20% is pretty big, guys. So you per second you might get 15. Sometimes you get 45, sometimes you get just 15, but you'll definitely get 15, right? And that 15 is multiplied again by our mana regeneration, and then it's multiplied by our resource generation. So that is a lot of mana. That's why Vox Omnium, or the Vox and Dariel NMK Sorc, is really, really good with infinite mana. Doesn't need to stop, and it just looks super cool because it's like really, really fast attack speed. Yeah, that build is nuts. In the Avatar Sorc, this also works with our Ice Blades, but like I said, this is not our main source. This is just our supplementary source. Our main source has become the Mana Boots. Ideally, when running NMK, you could also run Mana Boots on it, but you might as well just run like Max Life because it's a little bit lacking on tankiness. It doesn't have Doombringer. So yeah, you don't need Mana Boots on NMK Vox and Dariel. Right? So that's how, in total, all these passives, Frigid Breeze, Conjuration Mastery, Ice Armor, plus, sorry, I forgot, plus our Paragon boards. All right, we'll get back into the totaling again later. You must get the maximum mana nodes right here because these also multiply with the pants. This 4% is not, this +4 is not really +4. It's more like higher than that, maybe +8 or +9. So these are really important to get. And then these nodes right here, you have to get these. I mean, it's a basic of the chain lighting build. They tell you to get that. However, my build is a little bit more specialized. Of course, static surge right here really helps out as well. After spending 100, which is really easy to spend, you gain 10% of your mana back. Now, if you have a big mana pool, that 10% is big. If you have like 400 mana, 10% of that is 40 mana. After losing 100, and that 40 is also multiplied by your generators, it is really, really strong. Okay, so static surge actually solves the issue as well, but that alone cannot. You need a combination of many things. So static surge, and of course you have one glyph that also helps out, unleash, and this one will always be active all the time because 50 mana is little. You'll be spending hundreds, if not thousands of mana within 10 seconds, right? So mana regeneration, you gain 25% extra. This helps a little bit as well. However, if you have even just one stat missing, it is a little bit harder, especially on Avatar Sorc. So again, you must get Unleashed Glyph, Static Surge Paragon node, Legendary node, and then for the skill tree, you must get Frigid Breeze, 3 stacks into this, 10 Conjuration Masteries. Your Ice Armor has to be active. Sometimes it doesn't need to, honestly, this 30%. When there are times when you don't have Mana Shield active, Ice Armor active, it still has infinite mana. And of course, if you're running NMK Sorc, Frost Bolts. Okay, now I forgot to mention my enchantment slots. My enchantment slots are Hydra, because I get 2 additional conjurations up all the time. Plus, it's my source of burning damage. So, multipliers, right? Additives from reduction from burning, additional damage to burning. That's what this is for. Plus, it's 2 active conjurations at all times. And my other enchantment is Ice Blades, because this Ice Blades, you can stack up to 6 Ice Blades at a time. So these 2 alone, that's already 8 conjurations. This, like I said, it helps you with your other cooldowns, so you'll be able to spam more skills. And yeah, Lightning Spear from our ultimate. If you're lucky, you can spawn a lot. If you're unlucky, then you spawn maybe up to 12 or 14 conjurations, which is still enough to sustain your infinite mana. Alright, with all that being said, with the gear, remember Starless, Conjuration Mastery, Mana Boots, if Avatar, Facial Conduit, really important, and then all your lucky hit from your gear will affect Frigid Breeze. Okay? So, let me just do a little demo in the end. I already showed you guys in the beginning some pit fights and some council fights that I have infinite mana. Here's what it looks like on a target dummy. Make it a boss dummy. Of course, you're gonna use your advantage potion for attack speed and lucky hit chance. That's how you get cap on this build. And just wail away.
I'm not ready yet.
It takes time to ramp up, guys, so you want all your... Basically try to spend all your cooldowns so that the Ice Blades come out faster. And there you go. No more mana issues. Oh, we got some lag.
I'm not ready yet. I'm out of mana.
There you go. See, guys, look at the ball. It dips sometimes, but it pops back up right away. Whoops. Again, you want to spend as much cooldown skills as possible. Constantly have your Ice Blades up.
I need time.
And it is dependent on your luck whenever you use unstable turns. But as you can see, I always have unstable turns. I'm always in God mode.
I need time.
Super fun, really good for pits. Of course, it's not as strong as Lightning Spear. It can climb up to 140s, I believe. I'm at 138 now. I'm gonna start doing pit pushing pretty soon. I'm pretty much done already with the season, honestly. I'm just playing because I want to build a foundation for season 6 so that I can start streaming on season 6 eventually. Yeah. Alright? So, things to look forward to. This is how you fix the mana issue, guys. I don't know what else I can tell you. And like I said, I know you guys are commenting, oh, there are mana issues, but I mean, there are no mana issues. Just look. Okay? That's it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, liked it, if it was helpful for you, like, comment. Let me know what you think. If you found another solution to your mana issues besides Starlight and this, then let me know as well. I hope that this build will be even more viable. My builds are more viable next season because familiars, I think, are counted as conjurations. So you're not reliant on lightning spears to come out. You have more sources of conjurations, and yeah, I think this build is gonna get 10 to 20 times stronger and can compete with lightning spear next season. Alright guys, see you all on the next video. Peace.